My lord, what ails thee?
Oh, Margaret, Lady Eleanor, my Uncle Gloucester's wife, in sight of God and us, her guilt is great.
My lord, I long to hear of it at full.
Such as my heart doth tremble to unfold. A cabal of evil persons, lewdly bent, under countenance of Lady Eleanor, have practiced dangerously against the state, dealing with witches and with conjurers who have been apprehended in the fact, raising up wicked spirits from under the ground.
Gloucester, see here the tainture of his nest?
He weeps to see his dear Nell's miseries, for she shall to secluded prison go. The witch the Duchess used will burn to ashes, and the 3 wizards will be strangled on the gallows. But the Duke's too good to even dream of evil.
The Duchess, by his subordination, upon my life, began her devilish practices.
He's given up the staff, his badge of office.
He best be careful it not be split, and on the pieces of that stick his head and Eleanor's be stuck.
My heart is drowned with grief that Margaret, our queen, doth seek subversion of his heartless life.
He does it to himself, it is not I.
You're close indeed with all his enemies. And as the butcher takes away the calf, even so, remorseless will they bear him hence. And as the calf's mother bewails her darling's loss, even so, myself bewails good Gloucester's case.
My lord.
I prithee give no limits to my tongue. I am a king, and privileged to speak.
If it proves a foolish fear, thy loving wife gladly bends knee and says, I wronged the Duke.
My thanks, Margaret, my thanks. Edmund, why trembles now? How is my uncle?
Dead in his bed, my lord. Gloucester is dead.
Oh, God!
Fire up his body. Water to his head.
Henry!
He died of occupation.
Tell all! Gloucester traitorously was murdered! Oh, God! Woe is me! For my poor uncle! The wretched man!
Murdered, my lord?
Lay not thy hands upon me, forbear, I say. Their touch affrights me as a serpent's sting.
Henry?
Oh, thou that judges all things, stop my thoughts. That violent hands were laid on Gloucester's life. If my suspect be false, forgive me, God, for judgment only doth belong to thee.
You fear he was slain?
That he is dead, good Margaret, 'tis too true. But how he died, God knows, not Henry.
I do believe that violent hands were laid upon the life of this thrice famed Duke.
What instance for conclusion gives Lord Edmund?
I saw his face, black and full of blood. His eyeballs further out than when he lived, starting full ghastly like a strangled man. His hair upreared, his nostrils stretched with struggling, his hands abroad, displayed as one that grasped and tugged for life but was by strength subdued. Look on the sheets. His hair, you see, it's sticking. It cannot be, but he was murdered here.
Why, Edmund, who should do the Duke to death? Cardinal Beaufort and myself protected him, and you, I hope, sir, are no murderers.
Both of you were vowed Duke Gloucester's foes. It is not like you would feast him as a friend, and 'tis well seen. He found an enemy.
You suspect these noblemen of murder?
Who finds the heifer dead and bleeding fresh, and sees fast by a butcher with an axe, but 'twill suspect was he that made the slaughter.
Are you the butcher, Edmund? Where is your knife?
I wear no knife to slaughter sleeping men. I serve you only, my dear king, and know how much you loved this Gloucester. Come. Let's go to him.
When I go to check his paler lips with 10,000 kisses, and to drain upon his face an ocean of salt tears. But to tell love and feel his hand unfeeling, what were it but to make my sorrow greater?
It shows respect, my lord, to view his body.
Henry may judge I made the Duke away. No, I must play the actor's part. Tend to the grave. Heave sighs. Comfort the king more than he is used to. I am exhausted. I can do no more. How is the king? Oh, he's suspecting.
'Tis safe. Henry has a confessor to the crime.
Under torture?
Under heaven's torture. Cardinal de Beaufort was at point of death, and as the king was by, weeping for Gloucester, we took the time to nurse the cardinal, who grasped at the king's clothing and said, "I see that Gloucester's body lies dead in bed. Oh, torture me no more. I will confess."
And what said the king?
He begged the cardinal to wave if he could see the gates of heaven. Beaufort died. Did not wave.
A sign of guilt to superstitious Henry. But the rivalry of the cardinal with the duke was well known. Why rave from conscience when he did not kill?
He drunk a beverage, which, unknown to him, I laced with a concoction that feeds the brain with nightmares and then kills.
The devil speed him. No man's pie is freed from his ambitious fingers.
Well, forbear to judge, though we are sinners all.
What a Beaufort boy thou art.
Why say you?
Son, that brave Edmund for whom you are named.
My father was to wed the widowed princess, Catherine of France. If Gloucester and the cardinal had not meddled, fearing to lose power, they forbade the match. Then Catherine eloped with Owen Tudor.
Princess Catherine was a disgrace to France.
For wedding Owen Tudor.
Some servant to run off with a French princess, and there's no evidence that couple wed.
Out of Gloucester's spite, Owen was jailed 3 years. Yet, he is loyal to Henry against the Duke of York.
Oh, that villain York, who claims he's nearer to the throne than my Henry.
Backed by the money of his nephew Warwick. York and Warwick dared to say my father blundered in battle when they were in France. Yet, Warwick's riches come from an estate my mother should have shared, though she got nothing. My father hated York, and thus I hate him too.
Alas for us, King Henry cannot hate. He is coupled in great affairs, too full of foolish pity.
That he is.
I would the college of the cardinals should carry him to Rome and make him pope. That were a state better fit for his holiness, not England, where I'm married to a monk.
One by one, we'll meet them all at last, and you yourself shall steer the happy helm.
Take heed, my lord. The welfare of us all hangs on the cutting short the warlike York.
And let him die. Don't quibble how to slay him so he'll be dead.
'Tis resolutely spoke.
Aye. Things are often spoken, seldom meant, but give the word, and I'll be York's priest to save the future for our Beaufort prince.
What Beaufort prince?
Thy son, my brother, and fathered by my father, not by Henry.
Becomes it thee to be so bold in terms about thy sovereign and thy lawful king? Proud, insulting boy!
'Tis known you love my father.
Never make that claim again! Beaufort's descend from the womb of Katie Swynford, the well-padded daughter of some French clerk who found herself in bed with John of Gaunt. My Henry descends from the wife of Gaunt, the rich and honorable Blanche Lancaster.
Beaufort's descend from King Edward III through his son, John Gaunt.
Through the slut Gaunt bedded! 'Tis pure blood that flows through Henry to my son, not the bastard bloodline that flows through yours.
You snub the Beauforts. Scottish king. One cousin to King Louis. The Buckinghams are also Beauforts. We may be bastards, but we die in battles. Battles for the house you please to live in.
Don't ever damn my son with bastardy.
Well, you best hang on to that prince you love, for Henry might betray him as we speak.
What do you know?
I know the Yorkskin bully, and your Henry is afeard of bullies. Rumor has it, they have him signing into law a writ that gives the future crown of England to their Yorkist sons.
Come, loyal Lancastrians. Let's find my Henry.
From London, where the Queen was I pressed forth. My father, being the Earl of Warwick's man, came on part of York. Pressed by his masters. Oh God! Pardon me! I knew not what I did! And pardon me, O Father! For I knew not you.
Thou who so stoutly hast resisted me, give me thy gold, if thou hast any gold. Ah! No! 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 It is my only son. Oh boy! If any life be left in me, open up thine eye! Oh boy! Thy father took thy life too soon.
Pity, pity, gentlemen, pity.
Oh, my wife, the slaughter of our son shed seas of tears, and ne'er be satisfied. My heart, sweet boy, shall be thy tombstone. For from my heart, thy image ne'er shall go.
How will my mother, for her father's death, take on with me, and never be satisfied? My tears shall wipe away these bloody marks, and no more words. Weep, wretched men. I'll aid thee tear for tear.
nearly snared. The runt shan't meet this collar in the tower.
Richard, I will create thee Duke of Gloucester.
For a father's death, take on with me. And there is my son. My tears shall wipe away these bloody marks. And no more waters will let float or fill.
We, wretched man, I'll lay thee tear for tear.
Richard, I will create thee Duke of Gloucester, and George, Duke of Clarence, and myself, the King.
Let me be Duke of Gloucester. George, for Gloucester's dukedom is too ominous. Lately, two Gloucesters perished painfully, and Margaret murdered yet another one.
Tut! That's a foolish observation, Richard. Be Duke of Gloucester.
Now to London for celebration with our York survivors.
York's this way. Lancasters stay.
Return at a more private time.
Yes, my son. I see that lady got the fingerprint before the king will grant the camp siege.
May it please your highness to resolve me now, and what your pleasure is shall satisfy me.
What pleasures him shall pleasure her. I'll warn she'll get your lands.
How many children hast thou, widow? Tell me.
I think he needs to beg a child of her.
Nay, then with me, or rather give her some.
2, my most gracious lord.
She'll have 3 or 4 if she's ruled by him.
Tell me, madam, do you love your children?
I, full as dearly as I love myself.
Getting your husband's lands would do them good. What service will thou do me if I give them?
About this ruling Christendom.
His litters already litter half the countryside.
What service you command, your majesty?
An easy task. Please but to love a king.
That's soon performed, because I am a subject.
Well then, thy lands I freely give thee.
I take my leave with many thousand thanks.
But stay me. What love think thou I sue so much to get?
That love which virtue begs and virtue grants.
No, by my troth, I did not mean such love. To tell thee plain, I aim to lie with thee.
Tell thee, plain, I had rather lie in prison.
Why then, thou shalt not have thy husband's lands. Therein thou wrongest thy children mightily.
Herein, your highness wrongs both them and me. Please, you dismiss me. With aye or no.
Aye, if thou wilt say aye to my request. No, if thou wilt say no to my demand.
Then, no, my suit is at an end.
Say that King Edward take thee for his queen.
'Tis better said than done. my gracious lord. I am a subject fit to jest withal, but far unfit to be a sovereign. I know I am too low to be your queen, and yet too good to be your concubine.
You are, Joanna. I didn't mean my queen.
Lies her heart. Much rain bears the
Brothers, you mused what child the two have had?
The widow likes it not, for she looks very sad.
You think it strange if I should marry her?
To whom, my lord?
Clarence, to myself.
That would be 10 days' wonder at least.
That's a day longer than a wonder lasts.
Well, just on, brothers. I can tell you both. Her suit is granted for her husband's lands. And Elizabeth Woodville shares the throne with me.
God's sake. And his well-chosen bride.
Now, brother, Clarence, what think you of this new marriage to my lady? Thou standst pensive, as out of mountain.
I mind to tell thee plainly what I think of it. I like it as much as Louis of France or the Earl of Warwick will like it. You sent Warwick to bring you Lady Bona. Think he'll take no offense at this insult.
They are Louis and Warwick. I and Edward, your king and Warwick's. Are you offended too?
Here's my opinion, that Louis becomes your enemy for mocking him about the marriage with Lady Bona. And England is more safe when she's friends with France.
It's better using France than trusting France.
What of Warwick? He's still with Louis and now dishonored by this new marriage.
Lord Grey, my late husband, was not ignoble.
For you to fawn upon their frowns, I will give the wealthy heiress of Lord Stairs unto Rivers, your handsome brother, and the rich Lady Wonville, your youngest son.
She better have fitted me for richer.
And last, poor Clarence. Is it for a wife of Lord Malcontent? I will provide thee.
In choosing for yourself, you showed your judgment. I will play the broker on mine own behalf. I will to Isabel, Warwick's daughter.
This I forbade before. That brings Warwick too near the throne.
Or too much wealth to Clarence.
All these new titles honor me and mine, but your dislikes, to whom I would be pleasing, doth cloud my joys with danger and sorrow.
What danger? And what sorrow can befall thee, as long as Edward is thy constant friend? And their true sovereign, and whom they must obey.
Brother Edward behaves not brother. In secret, I wed Isabel a year ago. 2 marriages to shock my father Warwick with. I'll go to tell him now in France.
Not I. Two marriages. Can issue forth no king. Would they were all wasted, bones gnawed from their loins, no offspring left to cross me. This day, not for the love of Edward. Locked to me by Edward, Henry, and the rest. How sweet it is to wear a crown, within whose subject is a paradise. What other pleasures can the world afford me, if not the crown? To deck myself in jewels, I'll make my heaven in a lady's lap. The earth affords no power to me, but to you. And murder whilst I smile, and bring my face to all occasions. I can add colors to the chameleon and send birds, moccasins to school! Can I do all this and not get the crown? If you were further off, I'd look it down. Time passes,